Okay.
Recording.
Meek. Adage.
Shit. Tuned in.
Candy Glimmer.
Hello, everyone. We'll be getting started soon. So we're just trying to make sure everyone's ready. Come into the Zoom room. Just waiting on a few more people. Looking forward to spending the next 4 weeks with all of you. Learn more about digital storytelling using AI, using Midjourney and these other platforms, and introducing our amazing instructor, Andrea. You can take it away, Andrea, whenever you're ready.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Andrea Orellana. I am a master's student at Teachers College, Columbia University, and I'm in the art and art education program, specializing in creative technology and community art engagement. So thank you for being here today. I'm definitely the type of educator that's a little bit more informal. So at any time, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We're going to be taking a few polls today just to gauge the temperature of where everybody's at. First question I want to ask everyone is, what do you know about AI? Just throw it in the chat. And then I'm really appreciative to those that fully filled out the worksheet. And yeah, if you want to turn on your cameras, please do so. Or if you want to just put up your favorite profile pic, avatar, anything, just, I'm a very visual learner, so I'll be able to kind of differentiate between profile pictures and rather than just black screens. So again, I'll put the question in the chat. Machine learning sector, okay. What do you know about AI? There are no wrong answers. Unless you put everything, then yeah, that sounds like a bet to me. How we doing, Sam? All right, I'm just waiting for Gogo to find me in this classroom, but I guess I'll get started. She might be a little lost. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. We're going to take a look at the chat. All right, can everybody see what I'm seeing? I hope so. Feel free to unmute your mics and...
Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Okay. So, I don't know much about AI. That's fine. Know a little data-driven AI, open source AIs, ChatGPT. Yep, I've used it. Computers to mimic the human mind. Yeah, let's put a pin in that one. Want to come back to that. Machine learning via, how do you pronounce this? Kaggles? When a computer does actions that a human would normally do. All right. Ah, Ray Kurzweil. Yes, I actually use his software. Yeah. Asimov, other AI science fiction. Excellent. Oh, I'm so glad you brought up sci-fi. Thank you. Next question. What's everybody's favorite sci-fi author or movie? Just favorite sci-fi anything, really. I'll put mine in here. Hopefully you've heard of him. Children's author. SpongeBob. Love it. My favorite author is Ray Bradbury. If any of you are Family Guy fans, the character of Stewie, the murderous infant who wants to kill his parents, he is based on a Ray Bradbury character in a short story called The Smallest Assassin. Yeah, really great read. I recommend it. Rick and Morty, of course. Hunger Games, it definitely counts, yes. Douglas Adams. Can you give me some examples of what Douglas Adams has created? Because the name rings a bell, but I'm not thinking of any universes right now. Interstellar, yes, love Interstellar. Passengers, very good. Oh, okay, yes, that's why I know the name. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. All right. So let us begin now. Gogo is still not here, but we move. All right. So the title of this workshop, day one, is, maybe Sam can start admitting people for me. Thanks, Sam. Oh, there she is. Hello, welcome. We're getting started. Come on in. Okay. Introduction to Digital Storytelling for Good. We are imagining a sustainable world with AI art. All right, so we're going to use AI generated art to explore a bunch of pressing questions of our time. Little caveat here. For me to be the best educator I can be, I'm going to need a lot of input from you guys. So talk to me. Tell me your problems, your concerns, your worries, your ideas, everything. The more you give, the more I get and can then give in return. So this is why I majored in art, because it's very collaborative. It's all about community. It's all about the exchanges between each other. So please, I know the first meeting is always a little awkward. Maybe we're a little shy. Let's get over that right away. All right. Please don't make me do one of those terrible icebreaker exercises. They never do anything, in my opinion. I would rather we all just get comfortable and start asking each other questions. All right. So this is my AI artwork. It is based on a photograph I took. My friend is a resin pouring artist, so she created me a palette made out of resin and alcohol ink. I hung it up on my window, and then I took a photo. I uploaded this photo to Midjourney, and I told Midjourney, make some things for me using this photo as a reference. So I believe the prompt I used for this one was to use the rainbow colored resin palette as a kind of telescope into a sustainable future. All right, so we're gonna have you tiers based on ability level. Funny story, I actually made this PowerPoint with Copilot, or Education Copilot, which is an AI system that helps educators create lesson plans, PowerPoints, curriculums, schedules. You craft emails to parents. Pretty amazing. So I left it just as is. I didn't really edit anything. Sam, my wonderful right-hand man, which I will have him introduce himself in just a moment. He's the one that added all the photos of the artwork and kind of went and made it really pretty for you guys. So the high school level, we'll see. We'll see about who knows more about AI. You guys probably do, to be perfectly honest. College level. So those of us that are already in a four-year institution, community college counts. I don't care what anyone says. I started a community college myself and then transferred to University of California, Irvine. So it saved me a lot of money. I didn't know what I wanted to do straight out of high school. I'm not that forward thinking. But so this is based on Ray Bradbury right here, this piece of artwork. And I just wanted to imagine Martians. Is it good? Is it bad? Art is very subjective. I'm not terribly proud of it, but it did give me great ideas for what kind of creatures and like humanoid Martian figures I could create. All right, so the university level. I would say that this is more like the post-grad level. So those of us that have finished high school, have gotten or almost have our first professional degrees, so like a bachelor's, an associate's, and we're ready to start teaching this to other people. That requires a whole other level of understanding. They say if you really want to know if you understand a subject, teach it to someone else. So yeah, just ignore this part. We're all going to do all of these same topics today. More my AI art. Yeah, I'm not sure what this thing is. Not sure what this thing is. Maybe it's a crescent moon. Some of the physics is off with Midjourney. Yeah, I am a amateur makeup artist, so I will upload and create a lot of portraits, especially of women, femme presenting people. And then I'll try out the different looks that I see Midjourney come up with on myself. So love makeup, love special effects. It is my dream to one day create style and just invent something that a bunch of people wear to the Met Gala, some kind of sustainable makeup. More on that later. All right. Yeah, this was actually based on another reference photo. I saw someone's artwork in the women's bathroom when I went to Salt Lake City. I visited my friend and took a photo, uploaded it, and said, change it around a little bit, make the colors a little bit more subdued. It was just the subject's face, and I wanted more hair, more tendrils, more shadows. Now this is the building that I'm in right now. This is Teachers College in New York City. Everyone, please throw in the chat where you're tuning in from. And if you are catching this recording later on, maybe we'll create a Padlet so that you can also participate and feel heard, and I will read all your comments later on. So yeah, this is Teachers College. I said make it in the style of Van Gogh, a little more Starry Night, and this is based on another photograph I took. All right. Yeah, there's going to be a high school assessment. That just means we're going to vote on each other's work. We're going to vote on what we like best. I believe in I believe it's called the critique sandwich. So compliment, criticism, compliment. You introduce something that you liked. For example, let's say I was critiquing this work right now. I would say, okay, I like the colors, I like the lines. My critique is that it's a little bit blurry, and these two moons here, I'm not sure if you need both of them. Some of the colors are a little bit muddled, and I need to know what the material was. But other than that, I think it's a great representation of Van Gogh's Starry Night. So, compliment, critique, compliment. All right. I am weaving. That means crochet, knit, play with fibers, yarns. The latest thing I'm working with is plastic. Yeah, reusable materials, recyclable materials. I want to create something and submit it to the Met Gala is having some kind of fashion competition. I don't want to say too much because I haven't submitted my work yet. But if I'm chosen, I'm going to be creating a gown out of trash, basically. Wish me luck. All right, there will not be a written exam in a project. So I left this up because I thought it was hilarious the way the Education Copilot filled this in for me. We are a very long way from Skynet and District 9 and all of these AIs taking us over. As much as I think Midjourney can read my mind, it really can't. I didn't ask it to do this. I didn't ask for any kind of written assessments or exams or presentations or anything like that. That's not the style of educator that I am. I hate tests. I hate projects. If you want to share, share. If you don't want to share, then don't. If you want private feedback, then let's talk about it because there's a lot of you. But yeah, left this up because you can tell if you really read that an AI wrote this. So I'm going to read this out loud just so you guys can kind of hear the voice of the AI unedited. Resources. Digital Storytelling for Good provides a range of resources for students and teachers. These include lesson plans, case studies, videos, and tutorials. The program also provides access to a community of experts, mentors, and partners who can support students in their learning journey. This one's not that bad, but to me, it's kind of empty and devoid of emotion. Definitely not my style of writing. I have a master's in English literature and a bachelor's in English, associates in liberal arts. My master's is from Queen Mary University of London. And while there, the UK has a different education system. So master's students write a dissertation. My dissertation was like 80 pages and almost 15,000 words. And it almost killed me. But it was great, fun times. High school outcomes, yeah, this one's okay too. Understanding of real world AI applications, that's gonna be a big one though. Yeah, it's AI, ChatGPT, even the legal system is changing daily based on what it wants AI to be able to do and how the quote unquote controller, the AI operator, which we're all AI operators, what we should be allowed to do. This is all my art, by the way. I've made almost like 15,000 images. And yeah, these are just some of my favorites. This one I love. I try to create like a Ponyo jellyfish kind of girl. All right, cool. It says my internet connection is unstable. Let's send me all the Wi-Fi vibes we can, please. All right. Now in the chat, I'm gonna stop sharing. Where is everyone from? Yeah, we're recording the lecture and it's going to be sent to everyone afterwards. So where's everyone from? India, New Jersey, Northern Maine, Kazakhstan, New Jersey, China. A lot of Jersey people. Czechia. Did I pronounce that correctly? Rwanda, very nice. New York City, very nice. I'm in New York City. I was born in Guatemala, which is in Central America. I'm gonna post this in the chat as well. But I was raised in Southern California, Orange County. More specifically, Huntington Beach, California. Also known as Surf City, USA. It is not Mission Viejo. They lie. It's Huntington Beach. Ah, the Netherlands, Saudi Arabia. All right, good. We have a great sampling. A very nice global classroom. I love this. All right, and now I'm going to ask Sam to introduce himself while I pull up the next demo here. Sam, tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm Sam. I'm currently a student, like a high school student, at like Rutgers Prep. So as like many of the other people here. I'm in the I'm acting as assistant for Andrea currently. So just helping everyone out right now. If you have any questions, please feel free to like just type in chat, and if you like raise your hands, Andrea will probably call on you. So just feel free to talk. Yeah. If Daniel wants to introduce himself as well.
Hi, I'm Daniel, and I go to the same school as Sam, and I've been helping, I guess, put together this course along with Andrea and Sam for the past couple of months, and I'm very excited to be with you guys in this journey and see what you all can do.
Can we actually get all the TAs present to introduce themselves? And let's just go ahead and let them introduce themselves. Just name, what you want to learn, if you know each other.
Jason, do you want to start?
Oh yeah, sure. So I'm Jason. I do a lot of CAD and programming, and I hope to also learn a bit of prompt creation and AI digital storytelling through this course. I'm here as a TA to help you guys. Any you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And also, may I ask you to mute your mic over that was that. Yeah, all right, thank you.
Today will be a little bit more laid back, but like in the future sessions, we might request you to like, if possible, to turn on your cameras to like increase engagements, as well as like just have more like engage like participation.
All right, I'm gonna do that thing I hate when people do. I'm gonna call on someone to introduce themselves. I'm sorry. Care to introduce yourself?
Did you
I
say
love the
Ryan?
equipment you have. I did. Yes, you have some very impressive equipment right there on the screen.
Thank you. My name's Ryan. Obviously, I go to the University of Maine at Presque Isle, up way at the tippy top of the country. So I'm basically Canadian at that point. I'm a triple major. I'm getting a bachelor's in mathematics, a bachelor's in business administration, and a bachelor's in software development. And I have a passion for social justice. So I'm hoping I can use artificial intelligence to help me in that venue and help promote equality for all people. So that's why I'm here.
We love to hear it. Next, Karen Chen, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Karen Chen. I'm a Karen high schooler. I'm a freshman. I have no experience in storytelling of AI. I'm just interested in this topic, and yeah. Can you say more?
Max, you got something to say?
Yeah, I can introduce myself. So, I'm a junior right now. I work with robotics, algorithms, and artificial intelligence. And I'm hoping to use digital storytelling to see how we can impact the future. I'm also here to moderate a little bit.
Sam, why don't you go ahead and keep calling people?
All right, Agni, are you here?
Thanks.
Yeah, hello, my name is Agni. I'm also a TA for this course. Would love to learn more about AI, especially in digital storytelling, whether it's using Midjourney, Dolly, or even maybe later about using Stable Diffusion, other such technologies. So looking forward to joining the journey with all of you.
Vikram, you're looking oddly smiley over there. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. My name's Vic. I go to high school with these guys too. You know, they call me the Godfather, El Capitan. Feel free to call me those names too. I'm a senior. I'm into stats, but I'm just looking into all this stuff. So I'll try it out, see how it goes.
Gary, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Feel free to correct me.
Yeah, you pronounced it right. Hi, I'm
Sounds good.
Gary. I'm a sophomore. I go to the same school as Sam and Vikrant. And I don't really know a lot about AI, but I want to learn about it. And I like art. Personally, like me personally, like I have a dog. His name's Leo. He's really cute. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Xavier?
I'm a high school student. I do a bunch of programming, mostly web stuff. I've been getting into Rust lately. I don't have that much experience with AI, but I'm hoping to learn some stuff.
Oishi?
I'm also a freshman in high school and I don't know much about AI,
but I'm also interested in the topic.
Ninad?
Hi, I'm Nanad. I go to Rutgers Prep and I'm kind of new to AI.
Denisa? All right, let's just move on to who is Y?
Hi, I'm Yaprak. Sorry, I have to go to the browser to change my name, so I sort of skipped it for this meeting. And my background is in well, actually, my education is mostly in arts, classical and new forms of arts, and I also have work experience in hardware engineering. My experience with AI is actually I never really developed a model or really applied it, but I worked in a hackathon project previously over an acoustic project, like acoustic processing. So what I did was to prepare the audio to be trained, and the other people did the AI, but through that, I also wrote a text about how this whole model was working by just reading the research paper. So yeah, mostly in the theory part of things. And of course, I played a little bit with the one from OpenAI. I forgot the visual one, but also ChatGPT, of course. Like just
Dolly, I think.
Yeah, and Dolly.
Yeah.
Just play around with it.
That's really cool. We have people who have like some experience in here. So did
A little bit, yeah.
yeah. Nahal, did I call you yet? I don't think so.
No, I'm a senior at Rutgers Prep and I don't know anything about AI.
Asia?
Yeah, that's how you pronounce my name.
All right.
I'm a sophomore in high school, and I have some experience in web dev and zero exposure to AI or art, really. But I think it could be the future, so I'm excited to connect it to in a good way.
iPhone? I'm not sure who that is, but someone.
Oh, sorry, I gotta change my name.
All right.
Yeah, but my name is Justin. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I like art, but I don't really have that much experience in AI.
Shravani?
Yeah, so actually it's pronounced Shravani, but it's okay. A lot of people get it wrong. So I'm in India, currently in grade 11th. I haven't had much experience with AI, but I have been a content writer for an organization that specializes in AI. So there's just a little something there, but not specifically in the field of digital storytelling. So I'm looking to explore more into that.
Nikhil?
Hello, my name is Nikhil. I don't have much experience with AI, but I do like to program.
Who is? You Bale? Yeah, I think I butchered that, but are you there?
Sorry, my name is Yubawe. Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can hear you clearly now.
Yeah, I'm Yubawe from Rwanda. Or I am much interested in the program, but I don't have prior experience in AI. Or currently in gap year, but I'm going to Princeton, and yeah, I would like to learn more about storytelling with AI in this program.
Yingshan?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Yingshan. I'm a high school student in Canada, but actually a Chinese. That I'm kind of I'm an international student, and the reason I joined this course is that I feel interested about the AI digital storytelling, and also that I'm building a kind of a startup program that use AI to generate music. So which is kind of similar as this course, but for for some personal reason that unfortunately I have to leave today. That can I just do it right now?
No worries. You can always just catch on through the recording later. But
Yeah,
today
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a pretty
Thanks for
introductory session. Like we're just going over like base information, not really like into any details. So you're not really missing much today. But
Great. Thanks for understanding. It's nice to meet all of you guys. See you guys later.
no worries. Have a good day. Did I call on a Yushi or I think I did, right? Who did I not call on Chet? What about Sarah?
Hi. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a college student studying information systems. I have a lot of experience using AI in programming and but very little with storytelling and more of the artsy side of it. Usually I let the code drop for me. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm not sure how this pronounce your name, but you wanna introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Ika. Nice to meet everyone. I'm also an undergraduate college student. Currently, I'm double majoring in neuroscience and computer science. And I'd like to pursue AI right now, just because I think in the future and now, and I think I'd love to explore its potentials.
And then I'm not really. I feel like I'm butchering everyone's name, but Karthikeyan, or I'm not really sure how to pronounce your name. But and then like we can follow that with Chet.
Can you hear me?
You are pretty soft. If you can turn that up a little bit.
Wait, can I go after?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, like, yeah, you can go after. So, Chet, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Yeah, sure. Oh, do you hear me?
Yes, you
Oh,
are.
cool. Yeah, I'm a multidisciplinary artist. And my work is all storytelling. So I was very interested in digital storytelling because it just looked pretty rad. I'm not such a fan of AI, especially because it uses such a huge carbon footprint. And I hope we go into that as well. So yeah, that's me.
Cool. Do you want to Merzan or?
Hello, my name is Mirjan and I'm from Kazakhstan. I'm senior student in high school, and actually I am like a chess player, so I was very interested in learning about EA, so I could create a program that will teach kids for chess and by artificial intelligence storytelling, and so I was interested in it.
All right, Karthi, you can introduce yourself now.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My last name is actually Karthikeyan. My first name is Darnish. It's like that because when I applied for my interview, I just forgot to change it. I'm a freshman in high school, and I major in science and technology. I really like coding. I've tried building my own AI in Python. It still hasn't worked yet, but I hope to learn some things from this course and help me complete my projects.
All right, that leaves us with Baha and Idil, I think. All right, go ahead.
Hey, do you hear me?
Yep.
So I'm Bahir, I'm a high schooler and I'm not interested in AI and computer science. I always seek for such opportunities to improve myself and my knowledge in AI. And by the way, I have some experience in web development and Python. Thank you.
I don't think I called on Stefia either.
Hello, my name is Stefia. I'm a ninth grader. I don't have any experience in AI, but I would love to learn more.
Is Adil there?
Hi, my name is Adil. I'm a high school junior from Turkey, and I don't have much experience with AI, but I like programming, and I would love to learn more about its applications into art and storytelling.
Tina, did I call on you?
Hi everyone, I'm Tina and I'm a freshman in high school and I have some experience with computer programming, but I don't really know much about AI and how it relates to digital storytelling.
All right, Andrea, lead the way. I think we have everyone covered.
All right, so gonna go back to sharing my screen. Sam and Daniel, you guys are keeping an eye on the chat, right? All right. So I heard a recurring theme coming up, and that theme was, what does AI have to do with digital storytelling? So before we had AI, how would we tell stories? A lot of us just used oral tradition. We would read from a book, right? So this particular piece of work that I made is based on a legend and a belief system of the Atiteco tribe in Guatemala, and it's called Flowering Mountain Earth. It is their religion, right? So I love iconography, I love symbolism, and this kind of world tree idea, the life tree with the branches that touch the heavens and the roots that go down into the underworld, and then the earth is in the middle somewhere, almost like a Middle Earth. Yeah, we will see this in many different cultures and artwork. So I invite everyone to see the significance of the world tree, where you're from, either geographically, where you were born, where you know your ancestors are from, where you think your ancestors are from. And this is just a tiny little research project just for you to do, because some of the most powerful stories we tell come from ourselves. They come from our family. Things we know, things we don't want to know, things we might be hiding. Now, I'm very much into folklore and superstition, so I started making some lycanthropic women. Yeah. Little pop quiz here. Can somebody tell me where the AI messed up a little bit in this particular image? Go ahead and shout it out.
The nose.
Looks like the nose and the mouth.
Good. What else?
Is it like up near the little like cheek area of the wolf, maybe? There.
Oh.
And
Like right here?
Yeah, it looks kind of like
Or
a color
here?
here.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a straight line, right? It just cut off.
The eyes are
Good.
kind of
What else?
disaligned.
Good. Yes.
If
Eyes are
you
definitely
zoom
not
out,
aligned.
maybe also under the woman's collarbone, it feels like kind of unnatural.
Excellent. Yes. This was one of the big ones that I wanted to talk about. Also, we kind of, I don't know, her shoulder seems a little hidden. So I call this an illogical piece of AI art, right? And as you can see, there's some weird shadow thing going on here. The mouth is distorted. The The wolf's muzzle looks odd, right? So does that make this piece of work ugly? Does it make it a failure? Let's hear some opinions. Yes, no, it's great, better than what I could do in real life. I could make this better. Go ahead and shout it out.
I think art is kind of subjective, so maybe its imperfections give it more meaning. So I don't know.
Beautiful, a beautiful philosophy. I love that. Anyone else? If somebody made this, would you call it a failure?
Even though it looks bad, and I don't know if it's a failure or not, I guess you could learn from it and you could do better. So in a way, it's really not that much of a failure.
Excellent. What if I were to tell you that she's in transition? She's transforming. So we caught her at an inopportune time when her collarbone, her clavicle was breaking and changing to the size of a wolf. Her nose is also mid-transformation. So this is the humanoid side, right? And this is the wolf side, but this is not the final product. What about these? What do we think about these? Better, worse? Do they make sense? Logical, illogical, pleasing to the eye or not? Go ahead and shout it out.
On one of them, the colors seem to be like more full, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
The one on the left, it looks a lot like there's less fur, I think. So it looks, I guess, less pleasing to me personally.
Mm-hmm. What about symmetry? What do we think about the symmetry of the face right now?
It's too symmetrical, kind of unnatural.
Excellent. I'm glad you brought that up. Have you guys seen that TikTok challenge where people did the symmetrical or asymmetrical faces? Yeah. I don't believe that anybody has a perfectly symmetrical face. If they do, then, I mean, that's cool. I'm super asymmetrical. One of my eyebrows goes higher than the other. One of my eyes goes a little bit more there. I think even one of my nostrils is a little smaller than the other. So luckily I study and teach art, and I think asymmetry is fascinating and beautiful. Now what about this one? Good example of asymmetry, kind of. Still pleasing to the eye, in my opinion. What do we think about the bags of eyes?
She looks like marriage material.
All right, marriage material. Love it. What makes her marriage material? You got to answer my follow-up question now.
Probably the hair, the eyes, the way she's looking, very like serious and professional. It's nice.
All right. Very nice. Okay. So one more, and let's do a more mask presenting character now. I love this guy. This is my yassification series. So I tried to yassify a lot of things. Sorry, either someone's mic is on or you're trying to say something and I can't understand. All right. So what do we think about this face?
Looks like a yassified soldier.
Mm-hmm. Good.
His hair doesn't look like real hair.
All right. Good.
I like how everything's kind of like choppy, kind of like he's not really conforming to anything.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. What would we name this particular character?
Maybe like parrot.
Parrot?
Yeah, I was gonna say parrot. Looks like a parrot, like the hair. It's all the feathers.
Are we thinking villain or hero?
he's probably a hero.
Oh, he's probably a hero. Why do you think so? Is it the
I think
colors?
I think he could be a villain, but with like a sad backstory.
Good, excellent. Perfect leeway into my next question for everyone. Sam, can we start a poll? Everyone's favorite villain. Just to fill in the blank. While you guys think about that, these are some of the designs that I'm talking about using recycled materials, right? Somebody, forgive me, there were a lot of you, I don't remember the name, but our multidisciplinary artist brought up the fact that AI has a very large carbon footprint. This is true.
Andrea, I think we need to use the Zoom
screen share?
No, for the their website for the quizzes tab to get the
Oh, really? I have
poll.
it right here.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
You don't
have it
have
for
it in?
some reason.
Oh, no worries. Who is your favorite villain? Let's shout out some answers. Cruella de Vil, one of my favorites. Scar from The Lion King. Darth Vader. And a fill in the blank. Okay. And make your choices, please. Good. All right. So it looks like Coloredville is our winner. And what's going on in the chat box, Sam? What kind of villain names are we hearing?
So we have Thanos, President Snow, the evil guy from Princess and the Frog, my chemistry teacher.
Oh. Dr. Facilier, yes, one of my favorites. Your chemistry teacher. Why is your chemistry teacher your favorite villain? What is so villainous about this person?
He'll give us quizzes and give us 17 minutes to do them and give us like 20 college level questions, even though we're a freshman.
Oh boy. Yeah, I do not miss high school history, and I was pre-med. So, needless to say, did not go to medical school. Wasn't for me. All right, so we are talking about, I don't know why this thing keeps popping up. It's annoying though. Okay, I'll just share the results because that's what it wants me to do. Is everybody seeing the results? All right, maybe now I can move. So as you can see, AI, it's in Zoom, it's everywhere. It's kind of running our lives lately. Spooky. For example, today, my Wi-Fi in my apartment stopped working. I had to run onto campus and go into a classroom to have working Wi-Fi. Otherwise, I cannot do anything. I can't work. I can't learn. I can't entertain myself. Keeping that in mind, does anybody know what it takes to save one image? Let's try to save this image right now. Save it to my desktop. And then we're going to look at the properties of it. So, (2048 pixels by 2048 pixels. It's a PNG image, 5.1 MBs. Does anybody want to hazard a guess how many resources I'm using for this thing? Just to save it to my Mac, save it to the cloud. Maybe text it to a friend, get their input. There are no wrong answers. It's okay if you guys don't know this. All right, well, I am using electricity right now. I'm using the light in the classroom. I am consuming an Arizona iced tea. This is all energy, right? So keep that in mind as we start breaking things down and really thinking about how everything we do requires an energy source. Now, in the spiritual community, we call energy masculine or feminine. And this is not gendered. It's not meant to be gendered. Masculine just means more extroverted. You can go out into your environment, go out into nature and be inspired and get energy from the things around you. Feminine energy is a little bit more introverted. The creation comes from within. You don't necessarily need to be inspired by an outside source. You just have to kind of hermit away, think for a little while, and the ideas just come to you. They're generated from within, right? None of these energy sources are better than the other. They are meant to work in tandem. All of us are a little bit mixed, but some of us probably think of ourselves either a little more extroverted, a little more introverted. I am an ambivert, so I love talking to people. I love getting inspired by others and ideas, but at the end of the day, I absolutely have to go away and be alone and turn everything off and just sit in the dark to fully recharge. It's like I was born with two different batteries, the extroverted battery and the introverted one. When one fills, the other drains, and vice versa. All right, so next I want to show you guys a little plot graph. Those of you in high school, you've probably been introduced to this already. It's just a tiny little roadmap about telling a story. Here we go. All right. Who is familiar with this graph right here? The 3-act structure. Anyone? Oh, you raised your hand? Pakshi?
We went over this in our English class when we were going over like novels like Romeo and Juliet. It showed like the 3 sections of like any book, that there's usually some sort of conflict, then like rising action, and then like the main climax, and then like how it all just goes down from there.
Excellent. I'm gonna butcher your name, I'm so sorry. Kartikeyan?
Karthikeyan.
Kartikeyan?
Karthikeyan.
Karthikeyan.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
We also learned about this in school, but we didn't call it this. We called it a Freytag pyramid, and it was basically all of this. It was like exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution.
Excellent. So yours kind of went up and then came back down, correct?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Yeah, that is definitely the more complex model. So for this one, just wanted to keep in mind, when you tell a story, you have to introduce yourself, introduce the point. Why am I here? What am I talking about? What's going on? Who are the characters, right? You can't just kind of launch in and be like, and then this guy punched me in the face. Because people will be like, I'm sorry, what? Who punched you in the face? Why? What did you do? What did he do? Who are you? So that's what the intro is. Now, the plot point, we will come back to. It gets a little bit complicated. But the rising action, other people like to call this the mud, right? We have to talk about a time when we're stuck in the mud. We're trying to walk, we're trying to move forward, but something is stopping us. So we talk about obstacles. Maybe a villain comes in, maybe something tragic happens, right? There's this thing you want near the top of the hill. And when we really want something and when we're working very hard towards something, the stakes get high. We care about what's happening. So to get your audience to care with you, the intro is extremely important. Otherwise, none of this matters. And then, of course, there's the crisis, right? Sometimes the crisis is foreshadowed. Hopefully you guys know what the term foreshadow means. If anybody knows, shout it out.
And towards something that will happen in the future.
Beautiful, exactly. Now, the crisis might be foreshadowed here in the intro. A lot of people miss it the first time, but when they think back, they're like, oh, wow, yeah, it all makes sense now. Sometimes little tiny obstacles happen on our ascent, and we might mistake a bunch of them for the crisis, but oh, no. It all led up to this major thing happening that stopped everyone in their tracks, or it did something to shake up the story and change the trajectory because now there's falling action. Usually the solution, if it's a cliffhanger, what would this graph look like if it were a cliffhanger? Go ahead and shout it out.
I imagine there wouldn't be any falling action. It would end up right at the crisis.
Exactly. Yes, right at the climax, it would just be like, we're done. So what is the purpose of a cliffhanger? Anyone?
Isn't it to like get you interested into maybe they're going to make a second type of book or something else, and it'll make you interested in reading that?
Yes, beautiful. So if in the introduction we have a hook, something that hooks the attention of your audience and pulls them to you, in the end we can also have a cliffhanger, which is making the audience beg for more. It's meant to frustrate, it's meant to really irritate people and be like, wait, you just got to the best part and you're going to stop now? Yes, I am. It's a great plot to use. So now hopefully you guys have seen this one as well. We're going to get a little bit more complicated.
Andrea.
Yeah, what's up?
So someone asked in the chat for you to explain the energies and the resources that are being consumed in the generation and receiving of image.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we can go back to that. Okay. So in the spiritual community, I should preface this by saying in Guatemala, there are many types of people. There's the Europeans, there's the indigenous, and then there's the mestizo. I'm mestizo. So mestizo people we're a mix of indigenous and European. And a lot of us have forgotten the old ways, the indigenous theories, belief systems, lifestyles, philosophies, all of that. I am a rediscovering mestizo person. I know my European traditions very well. The indigenous ones are kind of hidden a little bit more in our food and festivals, and they're a little bit blocked by colonization and Catholicism. So when I say spiritual community, I mean paganism, polytheism, different religions from around the world. Masculine, when we're talking about spirituality, tends to mean getting energy from your environment. Feminine tends to mean creating the energy from within. And that's why I kind of compare them to extroverted and introverted. An introverted person likes alone time. They like to imagine scenarios. And I say this as an ambivert, so someone who's both. An extrovert has to go out and meet people. You have to talk to people, you have to be out and about. So I'm sure that the pandemic was very difficult for extroverted people that couldn't talk to each other, and before Zoom really kind of took off for introverted people. I remember going off into my own little world, and my catastrophic thinking was off the charts. So it was a scary time for us all, and we all dealt with it in different ways. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Oh, can't hear you anymore though.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to ask about how these spiritual energies relate to AI and like the generation and saving of like the resources that these images use.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So even though we may think that working online or working digitally or saving every selfie, every photo of our cat or dog or whatever, all the screenshots, I'm guilty of this too. It takes energy, it takes space, it takes resources. So because a lot of us are very used to the digital world and we don't see it take up space physically because it's not happening in our backyard. But so this is a challenge that I pose to the entire Zoom class right now. Find out what it takes to save 1,000 images, the resources, and the resources can be anything. Electricity, hydropower, coal, solar energy, wind power, any of that. Just find out and then tell me tomorrow what you found out.
May I
Now,
also add on
yes.
a little bit to that? So
Yes.
also, the role of artificial intelligence and carbon footprint also has its roots in the training process of the artificial intelligence, because when you're using the when you're using the graphics cards, right, the GPUs to train an AI ML model, it takes a lot of power. It's kind of like Bitcoin mining. When you're like Bitcoin, a lot of energy is used. So yeah, that's just something.
Yes, thank you for that.
So is the energy that's being used and just with AI, how does that make the use of AI any different from just the use of the internet in general, and or rather any virtual tool that utilizes many resources?
Well, the thing is, because making that model initially, you do need a really powerful graphics card. And to train ChatGPT, GPT-3 language model, they actually used NVIDIA Quadro cards, so like the V100s, which are a really powerful graphics card, and they had 10,000 of them running in succession. So just imagine that running, I guess, in your house's backyard and seeing how much energy that would take. That would be a lot of bills. But yeah, that's why they have partnerships and stuff. And that's why it's also like, you see Bitcoin, when you saw the Ethereum merge, I don't know if you guys know this, but back in September, Ethereum did a thing where they went from so like all the GPUs, all the graphics cards working at once, to almost like a raffle system for like which computer will work on which task. And then in the raffle system, what happened was that the world's energy consumption actually went down by a significant amount, like 1% or something like that. And then and that was because all the GPUs didn't have to do successive work. So just think about that with OpenAI, and if everyone were to contribute, I guess, their like personal computer power to, I guess, make the model, it might also take a lot of power in that regard. But yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Wow.
Just to add on to the average like household consumption of like the US residents is around like 10,766 kilowatts according to the US Energy Information Administration 2020. And the estimated total of, well, like the estimated like training progress of the GPT-3 size language model would consume hundreds of thousands of kilowatts like of electricity, which is equivalent essentially to like hundreds of average American homes over the course of several months.
That's crazy. Wow, yeah. I didn't know that.
All right. Any other questions on that particular topic? Anything in the chat? Okay. So now a slightly more complicated plot plot graph, the hero's journey. I learned about this in middle school. I was in a bunch of like honors English classes and stuff. So I have always been a storyteller, always been obsessed with stories. Just because the hero's journey is something that's very common, that we see a lot of popular fiction kind of follow this plot graph right here, it doesn't mean it's the only way to tell a story. But for the most part, every popular movie that we can think of follows this journey. So Harry Potter, Star Wars, what's one? What's the one with Mockingjay? I forgot the name of that universe. Oh, the Hunger Games.
The Hunger
duh.
Games.
Yes, thank you. Hunger Games, and then there was another one that came out, Divergent. I don't know why I read that. I was not a big fan. But they all kind of start off like this, right? So, enter the cave. What does that mean? Does anyone want to hazard a guess? Anybody like analogy, metaphor?
Does that mean like maybe when they see the first conflict, they're like kind of realizing that they're the hero, or they realize they've got to do something?
Excellent, yes. So this could also be based on, I believe it's...
Plato's Cave?
I'm sorry?
Plato's Cave is also...
Yes, thank you. Plato's Cave. I love that. Those of you that don't know Plato's Cave, I'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow because I think it's relevant to this. And I also think the hero's journey is based on some of the teachings of Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates. So there's courage, there's helpers. This one in particular can be very problematic. The helpers, or the archetypes of the magical sidekicks, they're getting old, and they're getting old fast, and no one has updated them for a very long time. I've been social this for a little. I want you guys to think about your favorite hero, heroine, main character, protagonist, whatever you want to call them. Think of their sidekick. Think about their mentor. Are these people usually a little bit more dynamic? Do they talk a lot? Do they have their own agency? Meaning, do they make their own decisions and have their own life outside of the hero? Or do they only exist to move along the story of the hero? Does anybody want to give me an example?
My personal favorite types of stories, especially if you look at choice-based and story-based games, like Undertale or Detroit Become Human, like some of the most popular ones, of course, but like I love the ones that kind of call the player out for being just the main protagonist and everything revolves around them, and to move on to their plot points, no matter what they do to the story or the characters within the game, because in a story, you shouldn't treat everything as if it surrounds you, because the world doesn't revolve around you, but games are also special in that they kind of do.
Exactly, that's a wonderful answer. Can somebody tell me in lay terms, I want you to pretend that I'm 250 years old and I've never touched a computer in my life. Explain to me what an NPC is.
NPC, can I explain?
Yes.
NPC is like a person who is not really controlled by a player. So like I guess in the video game world, there's players and there's people who you talk to. It's also a derogatory term in real life that some people have created to notate some, I guess, like irregular behavior in like, I guess, modern society of people as well. That's what I've noticed recently going around on TikTok. Like I spotted an NPC at Walmart or something. Yeah.
Oh gosh, this generation is so mean and also so clever with its insults. We used to just call each other terrible things. based on our appearance, not on how we existed and showed up in the world. Hardcore, I have to say. Very hardcore with your insults. So yes, NPC. Someone who doesn't act on their own. Someone not important to have a whole backstory. Their entire existence is there to add clout to the hero. Now, what about a villain? Could a villain ever be an NPC? Have any NPCs become villains? Do we have any examples of that? Just think about your favorite villain or antagonist.
What do you mean when you say, can an NPC become a villain? Because, like, I think when you think about something that you aren't controlling yourself, it automatically becomes an NPC.
I know one actually.
Talk to me.
Not Aladdin, but the other like blue-headed big head guy, like the evil
Is it
villain.
Megamind?
Yeah,
Megamind?
that one. Yeah. More or less.
Sorry, say
Wouldn't
that name
Neo-
again. Oh, yeah. Okay, yes. Sorry, I just saw the transcript. Yes, Megabyte. Excellent. Great example.
Wouldn't Agent Smith in The Matrix work?
Yes, a beautiful genre-bending character. Love him. He's iconic. Has anyone seen Meet the Robinsons? It's kind of an old movie. Maybe you saw it when you were very young. I
Yeah, I
don't
saw it.
remember the name. Yeah, bowler hat guy, right? I don't remember his name. But yeah, this could be the ostracized, the ones outside of society, the oddballs, the ones that everyone thinks are a little strange out there. They don't act quote unquote normal. So what happens to these characters? What happens when we ostracize someone in real life?
That person might harbor a grudge against you. Because
Good.
I feel like there's like two reactions. Some people might just be like, okay, well, your opinion doesn't matter to me. And another person might take that opinion more deeply and feel the urge to like get back, like get back on you.
Good, excellent. Now we're talking about the motivations of our different characters. Keep that in mind, all right? And the only thing I'll ask, the only caveat really for this when we're all creating our own stories and universes is be very careful when you are making your main character, and if you call other characters NPCs, non-main characters, whatever, secondary characters, please do not fall back on ethnic or racial stereotypes. Now, I will go into detail about this tomorrow, but I could look out the particular topic for hours. Don't make people so predictable, because I call that lazy writing. That's lazy storytelling. Everyone is a main character. Everyone exists of their own volition and has their own agency. And some of the best stories are the ones that break a lot of genres and kind of blend everything together. And that's called meta, like meta theater, meta film, meta gaming even. Does anybody want to tell me what breaking the fourth wall means? If you've ever heard of that term before.
It's like when the character interacts with the readers, kind of. Like they'll be like, oh, we can see you reading, or like, who's that looking at us, or something like that. And it like
Exactly. Perfect, yes. So if we imagine that we're watching a movie or a play or playing a game, the quote unquote main character has 3 walls around them. The fourth wall is this one, the one where the audience is looking into their world, into their universe. When the main character breaks that fourth wall, they're like, hey, I know you're looking at me. I know you see me. Watch what happens next. So could we call that narrator a reliable narrator, a reliable main character? Do heroes ever lie? Any opinions?
I think heroes lie. Like, I know in a lot of like superhero movies, when the hero's caught by the villain, they'll lie and be like, "Oh, I know your plan" or something, and the villain will get like freaked out. I don't know, like that kind of.
I feel like it's all
Good.
in good reason though, because they want to portray the hero as being like this perfect kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a good example for this. Speaking of
Talk to me.
breaking the fourth wall, in Rick and Morty, Rick Sanchez breaks the fourth wall all the time, and he, of course, lies all the time. So it's kind of 2 in 1 there.
Oh, very nice. On the
And
topic of Rick and
But then
Morty.
again,
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know if Rick would be considered a hero.
Good point.
Well, I also think that just generally the concept of a hero is very it's very like one-dimensional in the sense that like humans themselves don't exist on a binary, and it isn't like they're good or evil or whatever. It's just from their perspective they believe they're doing what's right. And so even in that sense, like of course there's one thing to purposefully lie and intentionally know that you're lying, but there's also another thing where you can look at whether it be like Euphoria or Doki Doki Literature Club, just to point out some references, where it's like these characters genuinely believe in what they're saying, or that's their worldview, and that influences how they see the world and their quote unquote facts. But those quote unquote facts might not align with other people's experiences or perspectives.
Beautiful. Yes. Very one-dimensional, right? So I invite everyone here, as you think of yourself as a main character in your own life, as a hero, maybe realize that in somebody else's life, we're a villain. And in another person's life, we don't even exist. What we do has absolutely zero to do with the decisions they make. It's kind of mind-bending, mind-boggling, right? To think that we're inside this particular avatar, our meat suit that we control, right? Our entire point of view, our entire life is seen through our eyes with our senses and experiences. What do we call the practice of trying to imagine life, pain, joy, pleasure, anything, any experience, from another person's perspective?
If you're familiar with the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, there's a word in it called sonder, which actually happens to be my name as well. It means the realization that every passerby has a life as vivid and complex as your own.
Yes, beautiful. I love that. Could you put that word in the chat for us, please? With its definition. Be much obliged. Now, different cultures have a different understanding of this, right? I invite you to look into your own cultural background. And culture doesn't have to be based on surname, based on skin tone or gender, orientation, any of that. It could just be something that you grew up hearing a lot. What kind of repetitive themes, when it comes to storytelling, are you more familiar with? What is, quote unquote, I hate this word, normal to you? Now, besides that, we're gonna do a little popcorn exercise now. So you guys are in high school, or those in high school, we used to do this all the time and I hated it, but I also secretly loved it. Popcorn is, we took turns reading and then we would call out the name of someone else until everybody's name was called. But we're not going to be reading anything right now. We're going to be telling a group story. So while we do that, I'm just going to put up a lovely image of something to get us started. As my creation, supposed to be, I won't tell you. You tell me what it's supposed to be. But okay, I'll begin, and then I'm going to call it a name. And everybody's going to have about 10 seconds to do this. So Sam, can you start a timer for us, please? And I'll start my own. Basically, just go improv ad lib. I'm going to start once upon a time, blah, 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 blah happened. Sam, your turn, right? Then Sam is going to go, and then this happened, and then call out another name. We got it? Or is everyone confused?
Andrea, one person raised his hand in the hall. You want to say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just wondering, is that a bird or is that like a? Do we know anything, or is it just a picture? Are we going off of?
I'm not going to tell you anything about this creation because I don't want you to base your story or description or anything based on what I say. You bring your imagination to this, so it can be whatever you want it to be. All right, are we ready to begin? Yes, no, maybe so. I'm not looking at the chat or the other screen, so I need to hear a verbal.
Yeah.
Excellent,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Okay, and we begin. Sam, is the timer ready?
Yep.
All right, cool. Ready, and I'll go. Once upon a time in rural Guatemala, I was walking down a cemetery when I noticed the devil. Sam, take it.
It is the moon is bright, the clouds
Time.
are
Good. Next name. Call out another name, Sam.
all right, gotcha. Augie?
But out there in the corner, I saw a man walking, shaded and dark in the moonlight.
Time. Next name, please.
Daniel?
There was also 3 other people behind him. I don't know what they were doing, but they looked scary.
Next name.
Jason.
And as the fog revealed their faces, I saw with each of them their bloodied faces, and they were shocking. And I was scared. I ran. I looked back.
Time.
Standing above them in the tree was a green creature wearing feathers and a green eye, looking at the people very menacingly. Can you call on Vic?
Vic?
And it said, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?"
You have 5 seconds left, dude. That's all right. That's all right. You guys can
All
do it.
right, Max, you want to go ahead?
The green monster was eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's about it.
Okay. Jut, do you want to continue that?
He was looking on his iPhone and thinking, let's have a look at Craigslist. What's happening there? Nothing better to do, maybe some nice feathers to buy.
Anita?
And he turned around and looked at me and said, "Hey, want to join in this blood fest going on with the devil and these 3 other guys?"
Love it. Time. Next name.
Ryan, you want to continue that?
The creature found a car on Craigslist, a 2008 Toyota Corolla, and decided to buy it.
Gary?
The 3 men behind me weren't following me anymore because they were all just looking at the bird that was buying a car off of Craigslist.
Justin?
Uh, the car got delivered and he hopped inside of it.
Xavier?
In the backseat of the car, it was filled entirely with Kentucky Fried Chicken, mashed potatoes.
Um, Karen?
I just go after this creature and sit on the back seat of the car.
Lipakshi?
The feathered monster was no one but myself from the future.
Sarah?
And that future involved lots of Kentucky Fried Chicken mashed potatoes.
Stefia?
And there I ran with my experiences following me in the dark.
Rashika, I forgot how to spell. I'll just pronounce your name again. Sorry.
I had no idea that KFC would have such a strong hold in Guatemala, but apparently it is now running Amazon.
Let's see. Nina, did I call you?
No. After Amazon, it looked odd because the creature was the size of a feather inside of a car.
Okay. Did I call on Karen?
Yeah, I did.
All right. Why?
And the bird said, you have no idea about how much carbon footprint I generated to come into this world.
Asiya?
The bird expanded, its feathers flew out, its wings drew out, and the surroundings outside of the flying car turned into the Amazon rainforest.
Did I call on Anita?
Yeah.
Who wants to go that didn't call on? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Whoever's raising their hand.
The creature and the three men all went into the car into the Amazon forest to a Cardi B concert.
Does that mark the end, or does anyone else want to keep it going? I'm not sure if I missed anyone.
Did everybody get a chance to pitch into our Frankenstein story?
Oh, Denise, did you want to type it since you couldn't speak? I guess let's just move on to. So we're currently in the Amazon rainforest, like going to a Cardi B concert.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yep.
In the back seat.
With the devil being like an afterthought.
Oh, and green.
And a Toyota Corolla from Craigslist.
KFC taking over Amazon.
Oh, all right. So this was fabulous. My horror story from Guatemala, which is actually based on a real story, turned into this comedic, satirical, I don't know what you want to call it, genre bending, meta spiritual but also like a critique on politics and consumerism and health and nutrition. It was everything. So now the point of this exercise is to let go of expectations. I'm sure as this was unfolding and happening, some of you were thinking, okay, when am I going to get chosen? What am I going to add on? And it depends on what the person before you said. Or some people just completely went full entropy style and thought, you know what? Let's change it up, which is also valid and allowed. In storytelling, there aren't really any rules. I just ask you to be aware of sensitivities. So there are some characters from American minstrelsy. So in the 1960s, white American performers would dress up in blackface and portray the Black race. This was huge. It was highly entertaining, very popular. Everybody, quote unquote, loved it, except the people being portrayed. Does anybody know anything about this piece of American history?
Well, I
Or
think
what?
it maybe is derived from the Dutch tradition of Zwarte Piet. So that is actually the Dutch Santa Claus. The Sinterklaas has these helpers, which are the black helpers, and so around the Dutch Sinterklaas, the children dress like they paint their faces black, and it's also a discussion topic around here that's not a lot of people are not happy about it, but at the same time it's also a tradition, something that children likes, and so it's always a debate.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, it's probably maybe the one in the United States is also derived from the Dutch tradition. I don't know if they're related, but definitely aware of each other, I think.
That's definitely possible. The reason I bring up American minstrelsy is because it brings up the topic of representation. What representation do we consider accurate, adequate, flattering, or ethical? Yeah, sorry, that last word I said was ethical. Has anyone ever portrayed you personally in a manner that was meant to be lighthearted, but they said or did something as they were acting out your caricature that was actually deeply hurting or insulting or incorrect? I want you to consider that. Who has the right to pretend to be someone else if they're not? Now, when we do racial and ethnic stereotypes and things based on American minstrelsy, blackface, there's also brown face, yellow face, red face. Some people would even say that drag queens do something like this, but that's queer theory and that's something completely separate. Now, depending on where you come from, this may be the norm. It may be a highly contested issue. But at least for this class, I ask you to tread lightly. If you want to portray someone of a race that is not your own, or an ethnicity that is not your own, I ask you to think very carefully about how you would feel if you yourself were being portrayed by a stranger. What would be okay with you? What wouldn't be okay with you? And if anything goes, all right, respect. But that doesn't mean that everybody else feels the same way. And the reason I bring this up in the very first workshop is because if I don't, it becomes a problem later on. So just think carefully about who you're portraying and why, and who they become, and what is it about their background or their history, their accents, even the other languages that they speak. Do people that come from a Latin American country really sound that way? Do you have firsthand knowledge, or are you playing a caricature? Any opinions on this? And I also know in Italy, there's another character that's also completely painted in black. But with Italy, there's a very long history of blackface and segregation, and they started the ghettos with the Jewish population. There's a lot from history that we could look at in terms of ostracizing and inadequate portrayals. Anybody have any opinions on this? Anything in the chat?
I think, sorry, maybe, I mean, I'm not going to talk about a specific one, but I think the biggest problem lies when it happens between groups of people that are not interacting with each other. Like, so, because like in a friend group, like you make fun of your friend. I mean, not everyone, but it's like, it's this kind of things are normal, or like just, you know, the people on TV, they'll joke about each other's behavior. It's perfectly normal. But when it touches a topic that's sort of derived from this history, like that's, I don't know, I'm not going to say that it's 100% everything's wrong about it, because yeah, I think you can just talk about any topic, you know, to just discuss like if it's good or wrong, or if you really need it. But I think this mostly happens between groups of people that are not interacting with each other. That's,
I agree with you.
yeah, my interpretation, or at least a remark.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. I think a lot of comedy, and I used to watch Dave Chappelle. I watched all the comedians that are now considered problematic. I don't even remember their names, but yeah, they used to say these things and make fun of the queer community, and they would make fun of different races driving, right? There was this one comic, Angelica Johnson, I think her name was, she would put on a Vietnamese accent and pretend to be a nail lady. And back when I was in high school, it was hilarious. And now I look at it and I cringe, and I just think, that's so disrespectful. And one of my best friends is Vietnamese. I asked her what she thought about that, and she doesn't care. It doesn't faze her. It doesn't bother her. But that doesn't mean that she's giving me permission to put on a Vietnamese accent and play a caricature of an ethnicity that I don't belong to.
Andrea,
Yes.
we wanted to make some updates on behalf of Mega, and then
yes, go ahead.
say some more follow-ups about the next, how the course is going to progress, as well as what the next few weeks is going to look like. So thank you all for joining initially our introductory session today. Today was basically an overview about digital storytelling. Today's course was mainly to learn about the English behind prompt generation, which is the new and upcoming skill, especially with a few of the platforms that you can learn throughout the duration of the course. DALL-E, as well as, I'm sure that most of you know about ChatGPT. Prompt generation uses a lot of English grammar, and knowing these skills, especially learning how storytelling works, is important. I'm going to put a quick feedback form in the chat. So if you have any suggestions for the course, if you want it to be more technical, if you want it to be more storytelling and art related, we can make some changes before tomorrow's course in the next coming weeks, so that you can take the most out of the course. Again, the more you put in, the more you get out. So we want to make sure that this course is, wait, I think I shared the wrong link. Sorry, give me a second. We want to make sure that all of you, I guess, like the course, take the most out of it. And we wanted to put it up to any questions we had from any of the participants. Any questions that you have right now. If you're interested in something more technical as well, we have a few people from UC Berkeley as well as UPenn who can do a more technical side. We want that as well. We have a few, Andrea's amazing at Midjourney. She's a Midjourney expert. So we have that as well. So let us know in the Google Forms as well as the chats, any of your suggestions, feedback. Now we wanted to open up the last 10 minutes of the course to any questions anyone has. Raise your hand, put in the chat, you can ask it, converse with any of the TAs as well as Andrea, and learn more about, I guess, digital storytelling using AI. Any questions anyone has? Feel free to put in the chat, private message anyone, raise your hand.
And yes, the feedback form is basically like a pre-survey for you guys, so that you know, we can get to know you guys better, what your skills are, what you guys are good at, and what you guys are mainly more interested in, so that we can tailor to what all of you guys want.
Yeah. Sam, was there any questions when you were reading through the chat that you want us to reiterate, again, address right now?
I think like we should probably also go over like the final project, which is like most likely going to be on the pros and cons of like sustainability in terms of like having like a ARR like format around, or like just digital story, like, or like AI art, like just I guess like demonstrate the pros and cons of like sustainability through like digital storytelling, or like what we're currently going through the course, known just mainly on using like Midjourney and the stuff that we're gonna be learning about.
And I'm also going to put up a poll to see what everybody's interested in focusing on first. All right. Literary devices. Excellent.
I think there are some questions about how AI is, I guess, just related to digital storytelling and how we're gonna use them interchangeably. So
basically, I mean, a lot of the stuff from today was more humanities based. There was a lot of English. There wasn't as much, I guess, technical side to it. But it is important that we do understand the basis of prompt generation, which derives obviously from the English language. Such, for example, like ChatGPT, you need to know how to make good prompts. And I think all of this background today is really going to lead into what we're going to do in the future, which is better prompt generation for images and results. So it's also really, it's also good to know like the backgrounds like blackface, so that we could make future artificial intelligence less biased as well. That's also a part of the background. But yeah.
Exactly.
And just to like review that a little more, we're also covering like the basics of like AI ethics in terms of like the what you should incorporate and what you shouldn't incorporate in terms of AI art. And that includes, obviously, as we talked before, like about racial discrimination as well as blackface. And it's just really important to know about those like cultural incentives when creating art.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Sam. And
Andrea,
go ahead.
on the feedback form, there are a few questions which I wanted to ask you.
Go ahead.
One is that, is there any specific things that we wanted to download for the course?
No, you don't have to download anything. I can send all the images that I showed you today, like the graphs, so that you can hold on to those, but it's not really necessary.
How about like the software, especially like Midjourney? Is that going to be integrated into the Discord, or can you explain more about how that's going to work?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So everyone, make sure you have a Discord account. Make sure you are on the shared channel. And if you cannot, for some reason, access Midjourney, then let me know. Drop it in one of the general chats, and I will make sure to send you an invite. Yeah, if you have a paid subscription, great. If not, it's 25 free images for the first trial. And if you'd rather use a different platform, go ahead. Stable Diffusion does need an NVIDIA video card if you're going to use Python. So like on my Mac, I would have to use it on the actual website itself, and it would be really slow. So I have my Windows PC for when I want to use Stable Diffusion. And then there's also Night Cafe and a bunch of others. Just be careful what you download. I haven't vetted all of them yet. Just Midjourney, Night Cafe, Stable Diffusion, and Dream by Wombo, and Lensa. But those are the magic avatars.
Wonderful. And can you explain more about, I guess, the sustainability focus of the course?
Absolutely. So tomorrow we're really going to dive into this. We're going to split the class into two groups. One group is going to be in charge of creating a utopian future in which we take the climate crisis seriously, and we start thinking about how to reintegrate nature and sustainability into everything we do and what that looks like. The other half of the class is going to be in charge of the dystopian future in which we don't do anything and the apocalypse is coming. Now that apocalypse can look any way you want it to. It could be the zombie apocalypse, it can be a lack of any kind of technology, so like launched back to the dark ages, hunter-gatherer stage. It's really up to you. And then you don't have to stay in the group to begin with. That's just how we're going to start. We will switch off. And as far as language goes, connotations and synonyms, antonyms, everything. Every little word you choose to use in a prompt will generate a completely different set of images from Midjourney. And that's what makes troubleshooting and kind of editing these prompts so problematic, because I have changed one word thinking that I was going to clean up my prototype, and Midjourney took it to a completely other dimension. So the words we use matter, and I invite you to start taking notes on exactly what kind of prompts you're using, just so you can trace the history. And I know it's annoying. Not all of us like to take notes. And start rating your images as much as you can, because Midjourney especially will get to know you. If you put the X, it's going to erase that image completely and be like, okay, I did not do that properly. We're never doing that again. If you put a star, like you favorite it, you heart it, it's more likely to show you these types of images again. Follow the prompt in that specific manner. So we are getting to know Midjourney, and Midjourney is going to get to know us and what our aesthetic is. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense right now. You'll understand more as we do it tomorrow. Any other questions?
Yeah, there was actually two other questions. One was about how, what collection of images Midjourney is taken from, but I think I can explain a little bit about this. The data set that Midjourney uses is called Lanyon.ai. I can send a link in the chat, but basically how, since some of you people here are still introductory, I'll explain what Midjourney is. First of all, we've been using that term repeatedly throughout this course, but it's basically a platform. It's basically a tool which you can put in a prompt. You can say, draw me an image of a person wearing a hat in the sunlight. It will draw an image based on, it has a data set of images which its algorithm is trained on. We can explain more of the AI, I guess, in a later course. But Hishrika, responding to the question that you had, I can, Jason, can you send the link of the data set in the chat? Or we can send the link on the Discord as well.
Yeah, I'll work on. I think sending it in the Discord is probably gonna be more permanent, so we don't do that. But yeah.
Yeah, and then one last question which you got in the chat was, how do you, I guess, rephrase and I guess change up the prompts so that you can reduce bias, be more sustainable, and be more equitable? I mean, if this is going to be addressed in I guess, a later course, maybe just if you could give a quick preview of this, that'd be great.
You want me to give it now or tomorrow?
Since we don't have that much time, maybe like 1 or 2 sentences, a brief overview, nothing that technical or that advanced.
Okay, can I send it out over email because somebody is coming into this classroom to teach right after me?
Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah, sorry guys.
It's fine. I guess we can call it a day. Thanks for everyone for coming today to their first course. Again, we'll be meeting tomorrow. Please fill out the feedback form if you haven't already. We can alter our course based on the feedback that you give. And thanks, Andrea, for your amazing teaching. It was truly a wonderful first day. And if you haven't joined the Discord yet, please join the Discord. And thank you everyone for coming. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you,
See
guys.
everyone tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow. Okay, I need to clean up all my stuff in this classroom and then I'm gonna pop over someone else and I'll jump back on Zoom or WhatsApp.